Yeah, listen, I'm excited to be here. My name is Dan DeMott, coach real estate agents for over 5 years now. And I think it's the best time to be in the market in at least the decade that I've been around real estate. I think right now is one of the best times to possibly get going. So I'm excited to share a bunch of things that help me and my agents get more success with all of you. So thanks for having me, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to your insight here. I guess before we get started, I put in the chat here. I'm not sure if everyone saw that yet. What is one thing you guys are looking to learn from this, so we can maybe focus on some of those ideas you're looking to learn? Or I know I spoke to one person before this event, and one thing they were talking about in addition to lead generation is, then the follow up and follow through. How do we convert them? So if we have time, we can certainly talk about that. Otherwise, Dan, if you have time, maybe in a different date, we can maybe go through that as a part B on
Yeah,
the conversion part. So
yeah, we can definitely tackle that. Anything else anybody would like to cover today? I'll tell you how I usually do this. I've got a presentation up, but I've got about 3 or 4 different presentations we could dive into. So I'd rather customize it to what you guys would get the most benefit out of. So if you wouldn't mind, either unmute yourself and shout it out or throw in the chat what would bring you the most value in your business right now. Let me start. We got okay. Thank you, Amanda. Various lead generation funnels. I love that. I generally go with a couple things. Follow up, Tom mentioned, is one. We can definitely touch on that. Generally, I like to go with a couple things. One, are you getting conversion out of the leads you already know, the people you already know, right? Do you have a system in place to do that? That's usually a great topic. Second from that is, if you don't have enough people who are ready to transact right now, what can you do right now to get leads that are looking to do business in the next 90 days? It's usually a pretty good topic. Third one, follow up, as Tom mentioned, always really strong. And the fourth one that usually catches a lot of agents is time management. How do you get yourself effective and get yourself focused especially as we get into the fourth quarter here? We're only 3 days in now to the fourth quarter. So anybody have any feedback on any of those where they'd like to jump in and get started, or we can start from the top?
as we do that, one thing I've been preaching of late, it's now separation season, the fourth quarter, where people are starting maybe to coast or take time off for the holidays. Now, if we double down and put some of these things into practice, that can create a separation between us and our competition to jumpstart our 2025 and fill those pipelines. So to me, I'm super excited to be able to have that opportunity to separate us from our competition.
Yeah, love that. All right, so let's start there for a second. Actually, that gives me I'll go a little different. We'll sort of jump through all these, but I'm gonna pick that up there. Tom, let me pull this up here. So I do a exercise with all my coaching clients where we go through a quarterly basis on the calendar. Now, let me pull this up. I'm going to share it with you all as well. But we look at the calendar a really particular way, which is on a quarterly basis. And I use, hold on, if my Google Sheets will load up, we'll be able to get this going. There we go. All right, let me screen share this here. So I want to walk you guys through this. This is how I have all my coaching clients look at their calendars. We do this exercise every quarter. So this is the rest of this calendar year on one sheet of paper. I'm going to drop a link for you guys all to get access to this in the chat in a second. But we go through this exercise. And here's what I want you to really look at. Each of these columns obviously is a month. Each of the rows is an individual day. All the days that are highlighted in light blue are weekends plus holidays, right? We've got 4 big holidays in the fourth quarter: Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. And why I use this with all my coaching clients is I want you guys to get realistic, especially in Q4, about how much time you have available for your real estate business. And so here's how I do that, right? First of all, we look at the week of Thanksgiving. Let's be honest with ourselves. As real estate agents, a lot of times we don't want to be honest with ourselves, but let's be honest with ourselves. No one's working this week, right? Even if you wanted to work, title companies are going to be closed. People are taking time off. The focus is on family. And you've got Christmas and New Year's coming here at the end of the year. Again, not much is going to happen. Realistically, if you don't already have something pending to close those weeks, you lose those weeks, right? So now when we look at the fourth quarter, if I take those off, at a minimum, everyone's sort of looking at that same schedule. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks roughly, right? If you have other travel, other family commitments, if your kids get off school early here, or you're going to travel for Thanksgiving or travel for the holidays and you're going to leave earlier, block those times off so you can get realistic about how many days you actually have to work. Because here's the key, as Tom said, this is separation season, but people don't realize that right now, when the separation actually happens is January and February. Because I'm going to tell you from years of experience working with people, if you don't have somebody in contract by the end of October, that's a January or February deal, right? Something that you get done in the next couple weeks, you could still close this year for sure. Maybe you get lucky and you get something in contract in the beginning of November and it closes in December. But the reality is most after these next 4 weeks, we're working on 2025. And the reason that's important is because most real estate agents are going to go to sleep. So when you get realistic about how much time you have left in this year, then I want you to get realistic about what you can do. What are your most important projects? So how I break that down on this worksheet by coming in here and say, for your business, okay, what are we going to do to get some leads in the door? So you might say, I'm going to host 4 open houses. I'm going to work my database calls. I'm going to give you a system for that. I'm going to run Facebook marketplace ads. We're going to talk about that next, right? But start to build that out and then put those things on your calendar, right? If you're going to have a client event, holiday client event, if you're going to send a client card, what are the things you're going to do with this limited time you have to move the needle forward on your business and get some things going? And then I also add in, because I like to coach people to be successful outside of real estate as well. What's the most important thing you could do personally? What's the most important thing you could do with your finances before the end of the year? It's the most important thing. I always put my house projects kind of thing, but whatever your passion project might be, what can you do? So personal might be, for me, I'll tell you, it's, I know I need to lose about 5 pounds before Thanksgiving because I'm going to catch them back up through the holidays, right? So I want to go into the year right where I am right now. That means I need to tighten up the belt a little bit in order to come back. But personal could be some other goal you set for yourself. Finances, fourth quarter, I always tell real estate agents, work on your finances now. Get your QuickBooks updated. Get your taxes set aside. Have a conversation with your tax advisor. Make sure you're ready to file your taxes on time and close the year out right. Now's the time that you can do that. If you've had a great year, this is the time to do tax planning. Do you need to buy something, an investment property or something for the end of the year to help you offset some of your tax liability? The time to have those conversations. So go through and build this out. And I'm going to share this worksheet with you guys. But this is a great way to get started because the first part of becoming a higher performing real estate agent is getting honest with yourself about how much time you have to move the ball forward. Once you become honest with yourself, then you realize you're either doing the thing that's going to help you or you're going to get distracted, right? When we put on that calendar, hey, I'm going to work my database calls today. I'm going to run a Facebook ad today. I'm going to host an open house. Excuse me. If instead of doing that, you scroll around on Instagram all day, or you get sidetracked, doing some paperwork you shouldn't be messing around with because you should get a transaction coordinator or somebody to help you. You're losing traction, right? So put the biggest, most important things you can do on that chart. That's where I would start with that. Think that's helpful, Tom?
Absolutely. Appreciate
Perfect.
it.
Perfect. All right. Let's jump into lead generation. One of the fastest ways to generate leads right now is Facebook Marketplace ads. Has anybody tried Facebook Marketplace ads before? Show of hands. Couple people.
Or put a yes in
No,
chat.
Or put a yes in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. So Facebook
I
Marketplace,
haven't.
you have not. Good. You're gonna
No,
love this
I'd like
strategy.
to.
So let me walk you through this. And then I'm going to give you guys this as well. All right. So I've built this website out. I'm going to put this link in here so you guys can all have this in the chat. So the link I just dropped in the chat is going to take you to this website. I give this out to agents. This is a recording of a webinar I did where we went through Facebook Marketplace ads. You can watch the webinar, and then it's also got this presentation I'm going to take you through parts of. But the type of ad that my agents are having the most success with consistently is something called hot list ads. Now, I'm not the creator of this strategy. This strategy is around, so you may have heard of it before, but I'll tell you, we've made some tweaks to it that I think are really, really helpful. I want to show you what this ad looks like. So actually, first, let me give you an overview here. Facebook Marketplace. Here's the reasons I love Facebook Marketplace, right? First thing, you are in contact with a real person because it comes from a Facebook profile, right? So you're not going to get, if you've ever run online ads, people fill out the form, like I hate realtors at gmail.com and, 8675309 is their phone number. You don't get any of that on Facebook. Right. Second thing is you get to communicate with people in the highest response rate form of communication. So when it comes to interaction with people, there's sort of an order of how good at converting things are. Phone calls are the lowest today. I mean, technically, I guess mail would be the lowest. Phone calls are next, right? Text messages are better than phone calls. DMs are the highest, over a 99% open rate on DMs, social media DMs. So you're communicating with people in the highest category possible. Second thing, and this is for a lot of people who don't love lead generation, my favorite thing, they are going to start the communication with you. They're going to reach out to you first. So you're responding to them instead of cold prospecting. This is warm inbound lead generation. Next thing, we already get some type of level of clarity on what that client is looking for. When I go through these ads, I'm going to give you several examples of how you can run different ads that'll help you target different demographics and different audiences. Based on what ad somebody replies to, we know what they're looking for. This is my favorite part. Facebook Marketplace, no cost. Doesn't cost you anything to generate these leads. And the ability to scale. You can run as many as you are willing to sit down and put together. And what I'm going to do for you guys, this is special for Tom's group, but I'm actually unveiling a new product that's going to help you with these. So once I take you through the strategy, I'm going to give you guys an ability to opt into something that I'm going to start charging for, but I'm going to offer to you guys for free. So here's what a hot list ad looks like. What we're going to target, instead of running an ad for one specific listing, we're going to run an ad for a curated list of properties that meet some certain type of criteria. I'm going to go over some examples, but the one we've got here is 4-bedroom pool homes in Park Vista School District, which is a really top-rated high school here in South Florida, really well known. So the headline says 4-bedroom pool homes in Park Vista School District. The price I've got listed here, $375, is a too good to be true price, right? It's going to get people clicking because the average home that's in that school district is probably closer to 500 than it is 375. But the beautiful thing is I'm not advertising a specific listing. I'm saying here's a list of properties that meet this criteria, right? The ad then goes on to disclose all that information, right? What you're going to learn when you run this is nobody reads. That's okay. We're going to start a conversation with them. But what the ad says is hot list of 3- and 4-bedroom pool homes available for sale in the Park Vista School District. Free list of available for download, no cost, no obligation. List includes beautiful pool homes in one of Palm Beach County's most desirable school zones. Send me a DM for a free copy of the list. Then I put a little disclosure in there. Home pictured, may or may not be for sale at time of viewing, no cost, no obligation to buy anything. Ask about joining our VIP home buyer list. Okay. This ad, when I ran it, had over 4,000 clicks, generated over 50 inbound qualified leads, right? So I ran that over a course of about 2 weeks. This specific language is really attractive to people. They see the picture. You're going to want to put a picture of a home that matches that criteria. And then you put your category here and a too good to be true price. They're going to click to send you a message and you're going to start a conversation. Here's the key. Here's the strategy key to doing this differently than everybody else. When you create this Facebook Marketplace ad, you have two options. You can create a list of a home for sale. So Facebook says, are you listing a home for sale or for rent? We're not going to choose that because we're not listing a home for sale. We're listing a list of homes for sale. So you're going to list this as an item, right? When you create that new listing, you get these categories. You want this first one. I'm listing one item, not a home for sale or rent. That's going to change the way the algorithm handles this Facebook Marketplace ad and get it in front of a lot more eyes. Okay. I want to give you some other ideas that can work with this. REO and bank-owned homes. This one is an unbelievable. You want to meet all the investors in your area, run a REO or bank-owned home list, Facebook Marketplace ad. 3 or 4 bedroom homes in an A+ school district. Cash flowing rental properties. I'm down here in South Florida, so waterfront condos under $350,000 is a big one. Fix and flip properties always does great. And then more specifically, whatever type of clients you want to work with can be great for this. You like townhome buyers, you like first-time home buyers, you want, if you have any kind of other interests, golf course communities, equestrian things, whatever you want to target it to, is going to work with this strategy because the Facebook algorithm is going to take your ad and push it to the people who are most likely to look at it. So I'm going to pause there for a second and see what questions you guys might have about this strategy. Any questions come to mind on running these Facebook ads?
Yeah. What do you tell them when they call then and you don't really have that house available?
Well, here's the thing. Them not reading is not your problem. So here's what's going to end up happening, and I'll walk you through it. 99% of people are going to click the button on Facebook Marketplace that says, is this available? It's a default answer to that question. So they see your ad, they click the button that says, is this still available? And it sends you a DM. Now, what we've offered is a list of properties that is still available, right? So you're going to respond with, what's the best email for me to send this to? Right? You are going to get probably 50% of the people who inquire will just give you their email address so you can send them this list of properties. Then we have a very specific set of scripts that we take people through. Let me throw these in the chat for you guys as well. All of this is covered in that video I sent you, by the way, so you don't have to take the most diligent notes right now. So let me show these to you. First one, like I said, you're going to get is going to be, they're going to say, is this still available? You're going to say, yes, what's the best email? I can send all the details. You're going to be shocked by how many people will do that. The next set of questions that I'm going to have you use in response to people is very intentional. First one you're going to say is, are you buying a home?
Right now, I'm not sure if you're trying to share your screen right
now. Oh,
now.
no, I'm not sharing my screen now. I'm going to drop some stuff in the chat, but thanks, Tom. Next question you're going to do is, are you buying a home for yourself or for investment? Has anybody ever heard of the strat? They tell you in sales school, if you go to any sales training, don't to use open-ended questions, right? You don't want to use anything that can be answered with a yes or no. You want an open-ended question. What I've found is that when it comes to DMs, open-ended questions get a very low response rate. People like choices. So everything is an or question. Are you buying a home for yourself or for investment? Right? The next one I always love is, are you buying cash or financed? Now we know if you're running an ad for the average single family home in a school district, odds are they're buying finance, but we're going to say cash or finance, right? Because what we found is that those options give a lot higher engagement rate, right? So those are your three things. If you can get through those three questions, your next response is going to be, what's the best number for me to give you a call on so we could chat about a couple other questions I have to help you. If you can get someone to respond to those three questions, that's a viable lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you run this ad, you're also going to get a bunch of people who don't respond. They're gonna say, is this available? You're gonna say yes. What's the best email address I can send all the details? They're gonna completely ghost you. That's okay. We're gonna get them back too. I use 2 DMs to pull back in any leads that have gone silent. First one looks like this. Excuse me. Following up on my message above with the little emoji, little finger emoji. People like that one, right? You'd be shocked how many people will get that. I ran this experiment on just last week, actually, and I shared this in my group coaching on Monday. Last week, I'm trying out a new FISBO strategy. So I try out every strategy before I teach it to agents. So I tried this new script out. I texted it to 10 FISBOs in my market. The day one, when I sent the first script, I got 1 out of 10 replied to me. 10% response rate's not pretty good. The next day, I sent this text following up on my message above. Anybody want to guess what my response rate was for that? Have fun with me.
50%.
Yes. Awesome. Good guess, Rochelle. I went from 10% to 50% with just that one follow-up text. 2 days went by. I sent this one. This is always the best one. Are you okay? Anybody want to guess what my response rate went to? So I went from 10% on day one to 50% when I said following up on this. Then 2 days later, I sent them, are you okay? Anybody want to guess what the response rate was?
80%.
90%. I went from, if I had sent just the first message, I would have had a 10% response rate. I would have thought this strategy was terrible. But by sending 2 more messages, I went up to a 90% response rate, right? The follow-up, and somebody mentioned follow-up, and we're going to go a lot deeper into follow-up. This is your follow-up plan. Generating leads in today's world is easy. Piece of cake. People are dying to connect and communicate. The power of social media and the internet allows you to get advertisements in front of your target audience for nothing, right? Follow-up is the whole game, right? Can you follow up consistently over enough time and with words that get people off the sidelines? That's why I want to take you guys through that whole response rate. Again, once you get some engagement from any of those, you're going to be able to get that person onto a phone call. But if you try for the phone number up front, you're not going to. That's the number one mistake agents make when they try this strategy. They ask for the phone number on the first text. Not going to work, right? What I always tell people is, imagine you're dating. If you saw someone you were interested in dating and you walked up to them and you said, hey, stranger, do you want to go out to dinner tomorrow night? They'd be like, absolutely not. Get out of here, right? Not enough trust built. But if you said, hey, you seem interesting. I'd like to get to know you. Would you be open to grab a cup of coffee tomorrow at 12 o'clock at Starbucks in the middle of the day in a public location, right? Got a pretty good shot. You've reduced the stakes. Now we have an opportunity to build trust. Coffee goes well. Now maybe we can talk about dinner, right? Same thing when you're having a DM conversation with leads. Small incremental steps to build trust until we can convert to get on the phone. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. I want to show you a couple. Let me just share this with you guys as well. Here's a couple of screenshots I took. Right. I said this is one of my coaching clients here. He ran bank-owned homes. That one's always, if you want to start with one, start with bank-owned homes. Just a full inbox full of DMs from potential clients. This person over here she's running a mix of the bank-owned home ones, but also some specific properties for sale. We're going to talk about that next. That's a great strategy as well. with these. You just need to do volume. So, so you can do it either way, either strategy. Excuse me. All right. The other one I'm always going to share here on the Facebook Marketplace. Anybody need some quick cash? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm choking today. Does anybody need to make some quick cash before the end of the year? Be helpful? Tom's up. Anybody want some holiday spending money? If your business is stagnant, if you don't have a pipeline full of leads, and you need to get some cash in the door for the holidays, please, please, please do not sleep on doing some rentals with Facebook Marketplace ads. This is a surefire way to get some cash in the door. I have a couple agents. I have 3 agents right now in my program who are consistently doing this $7,000 to $10,000 a month just on rentals. And through that process, they're building up their buyer pipeline as well now. I have one agent. She's 4 months in the business, brand new, got her license, started working with me. I put her into rentals first. She's done 60 grand in 4 months on rentals. So this is a huge opportunity. If you are stuck in the water and you want to get some cash coming in immediately, go for rentals. What that should look like, you want it to be in the city and zip code where you work in your immediate area. Single family or townhome is my preference. However, experiment with what's going to work in your area. Pricing here in South Florida, 2,500 to 3,500 is sort of median. What I would say is like median price point for rentals. You don't want much lower than that, because what ends up happening is you get a lot of requests, but people struggle to be qualified. And higher than 3,500, we find is there maybe not as many people on Facebook Marketplace at higher price points. So for me, somewhere in that price point, you might adjust this a little bit depending on what market you're in. But I would look for right at that median, like what could you get a decent, clean, desirable single family or townhome. What I always tell people is if you wouldn't want to live there yourself, don't run a Facebook ad for it, right? If you'd like to live there and you'd be comfortable for it, that's probably right in that sweet spot of where you're going to be. When we do the rentals, you're going to run them as specific ads. So you're going to run specific rent. Well, you could do both. Actually, I have agents doing both. With rentals, you can run a for rent and advertise a specific property and do really well. If you don't have any rental listings, ask around your brokerage. If you don't have anyone in your brokerage that will let you advertise those, pull up rentals on the MLS and send messages to those listing agents. A lot of agents who have rental listings do not want to work the rental leads. And so they will let you advertise them. Just send an email saying, can I have your permission to use your photos and advertise your rental on Facebook Marketplace to bring potential tenants to you. That would be the strategy that I would implement. Anybody have some questions on that rental strategy?
I love it. I think it's super exciting, super easy to do, and what a great way to generate some leads really fast.
Really quick. The other thing with the rentals, the other reason I encourage people to do the rentals is you'd be shocked how many people you can convert into buyers. And this is a great one for you to work with Tom on. What you find is, so in our market, someone who's going to spend $3,500, $4,500 a month on a rental, by the time they've got first, last, and security put together, you're talking about almost $15,000. We could probably get them in a house on an FHA loan, right? Pretty close. They have a little bit of extra money saved up. So what we do with a lot of those leads, when those come in on rental leads, is ask them, hey, why are you renting instead of buying, right? Did you know what the rates look like? And what we find consistently is a lot of those renters, a lot of those rental leads, they just have a misconception about what the process is to get approved for a mortgage, to get qualified. And so we've got great loan officer relationships for our agents as well. And Tom's your go-to person. Those are great opportunities to say, hey, I'm happy to help you find a rental, but I feel like it might make sense for you to get on a call with my guy Tom for 15 minutes and just see if buying a house is possible for you. right? Let him get the details. He can run a quick, preliminary analysis and let you know what you'd be qualified to buy. And I'm sure Tom would love to get those phone calls from you guys. It's going to really help you get a lot more opportunities started. And to me, that's the best of both worlds. Best case, you're feeding Tom a buyer opportunity and you're turning that into a big buy side commission. Worst case, you're going to make, some commission on that rental. So that is a great strategy. But for anybody who needs cash quickly, bring that in. So I'm seeing in the chat here. Yeah, grant opportunities. Hannah said, oh, where's Hannah? Hannah said, how do you earn income as an agent for someone else's rental? Hannah, you can get paid commissions for bringing tenants to those rentals. Most markets, agents will split the rental fee with an agent who brings the tenant. But I will tell you also, if you're in a market, and there are some where listing agents don't offer commission, you'd be shocked how many potential renters will pay you out of pocket to help them find a rental, because the process of finding a rental in today's world is really complicated. Agents who have those rental listings rarely respond. Their people are looking on Zillow, the information's out of date. It's very frustrating to be a renter today. So we find the renters are really receptive to having a conversation and willing to pay you for your time if you can help them get a place secured and get into showings and things like that. It's very frustrating to be a renter in today's market. Great question. Any other questions on rentals or Facebook Marketplace leads? Anybody have any hesitation that they wouldn't be able to find a rental to advertise? Go ahead, Steven. Oh, Steven, you put your hand up. You got the question? Give Steven a second. Oh, and I'm going to pull something else up to show you guys. All right. For those of you who are actually going to do this strategy, I'm going to make this is an offer. Tom didn't know I was going to offer this. I mean, a week, 2 weeks ago, before, when I had this booked, I didn't even know we were going to have this tool. So I'm excited to share it with you guys.
Hello.
Go ahead, Steven. We can hear you now.
We don't have any inventory out here, so that's the
Where's
one
out
thing.
here?
And with the new law, we're not seeing commissions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. There's not a lot of inventory even on rentals. Like on the MLS, just for my city, there's 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's a limiting belief around, where are you located, Steven?
I'm in Santa Clara County, Silicon Valley,
Sure.
on the south end.
Yeah, California is definitely tougher. Although let's see. Although I don't know. Let's see. Zillow's got Santa Clara County. Zillow says 6,000 rentals available right now.
Yeah, try Gilroy, Gilroy.
Gilroy, let's see. Gilroy, California. 82.
Oh, okay. So they're
So
not
let
on
me-
the MLS then.
There you go. So let me show you guys a cool tool. And I love that. I appreciate you speaking up, Steven. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to address the bigger concern. So Steven, thank you for speaking up, because someone else was thinking that, right? There's always someone who thinks, well, that won't work in my market. I promise you it will. If what Steven said was true, there's only 3 available rentals in my market. What I would tell you is run ads for those 3 rentals, because what that means is there's huge demand. There are a ton of people who want help and can't get it. So, Steven, if there's only 3 in the MLS and someone's looking for them, what are the odds that they get one of those rentals out of the MLS if they're not working with a real estate agent? Probably zero, right? Because professional courtesy of working with real estate agents is if you call someone and say, hey, I've got a renter for you, you're going to get a better response than if an agent puts a rental in the MLS and 50 tenants send them messages through Zillow, right? No one's responding to those. Let's just be honest. So working with an agent gives people a competitive advantage. That's what we're selling. And if you throw a rental, if your market is that tight, Steven, this strategy will absolutely crush for you. How it's tight inventory markets, just advertise what is available, advertise the list, advertise, hey, let me know your criteria so I can set you up. So anytime anything hits the market that matches your criteria, you get it. People in high demand markets are looking for those opportunities. They're looking for people to help them. So I would tell you this strategy is going to crush it in your market. But let's look specifically at, because I want to show you guys this tool. Again, this is a very cool tech tool that I have that I'm offering exclusively to my coaching clients. And as a gift for Tom inviting me here, I'm going to offer to all of you guys, for anyone who wants to do this strategy. I want to show you what this looks like. This is a very cool tool, AI tool we have. It is a Google Chrome extension. So let's say I'm working in Stevens Market. I'm in Gilroy, California here. And I want to run one of these ads, right? I'm going to come down here. What I'd want to do, let's look at, so this one here, no particular reason. Falcon Court in Gilroy. What I would do is in advance, I'm going to reach out to this property owner, Brian, right? Brian's contact information is here. I'm going to reach out to Brian and I'm going to shoot him a text because I have his phone number here from Zillow. I'm going to say, Brian, my name is Dan. I'm a local real estate agent. I saw your property listed for rent on Zillow. Would it be okay with you if I use your pictures and ran some advertisements? Hopefully I can bring you a renter. And if not, cost you nothing, but I get some opportunity, better exposure for your property. I get some leads. That's generally the pitch we send to people and get it to be really receptive. If this was a real estate agent, again, here's another one. I'm just going to keep clicking around until I find someone, right? Chris Teresi, MIS Investments. I'm going to send him the same message, right? Hey, I saw you got a bunch of opportunity on this property. I can get you better exposure. Can I have your permission to use your photos and advertise your rental on a Facebook ad? You're going to get a pretty good response rate. People tend to like that, right? Here, you got a property management company, same thing. I talk to them and get their approval. Once you have someone's approval, so let's say I came on this one, Brian gave me his approval. With this new tool we have, I want to show you how fast this can go into a Facebook Marketplace ad. Once you install this Chrome extension that we have set up, you get these cool orange buttons here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one right here that says post to Facebook, post to Marketplace. The AI bot is going to take over. It's going to pull all these photos and all this information for me off Zillow. And it's going to load up my Facebook account and start creating the Facebook Marketplace ad for me. I'm not doing any of this stuff. It's gone through and pulled all the relevant information together. And now it's uploading all the photos for this rental. So I think we're looking at a total of 30 seconds there. I can go in here, it's asking me to confirm the address. I could adjust this rental description if I wanted. It just takes the one from Zillow. And I could hit publish here and have this Facebook Marketplace ad up and running. In a matter of a minute, this tool allows you to create a Facebook Marketplace ad for this rental. You can also do this for homes for sale. So I'll tell you a strategy. I'm going to close out this one. Obviously, I'm not going to publish that. Another great strategy that we're using this tool for that we've been testing out. Let's see if you have here in Gilroy any for sale by owners. Oh, no for sale by owners in your market. Make our map a little bit bigger. No, let me go back here to Gilroy. There we go. Now we got 142 for sale by owners here. So here's another strategy we're using with this tool. come in here, Steven, I've got come in here to these for sale by owners. If anybody doesn't know, when you pull for sale by owners up on your Zillow, you can do a couple cool things. One, I always sort them. You can come in here. Let's see. So we can see this is a home for sale listed by the owner. One of my favorite things about Zillow is they're going to have the owner contact information somewhere on this page. I usually try to bury it. Oh, actually, this one got listed. No longer for sale by owner. Find that. Oh, here we go. Fix these fields here. There we go. Now we got some for sale by owners. All right. Nice market, Steven. All right. So we got a house here, Morgan Hill, California, $1.2 million, listed 38 days ago on Zillow for sale by owner. So here's what I do. Come in here. Here's the property owner's phone number right here on Zillow for free. I'm going to text this person. I'm going to say, hey, my name is Dan. I'm a local real estate agent. Saw your house was listed for sale by owner on Zillow. You got 200 views and 3 saves in 38 days. Here's what I'd like to propose. If you'll give me your permission to use the photos you have listed on Zillow, I will run free advertisements for you on Facebook. Any buyer leads who are interested in your property, I'm going to send to you. The win-win for me is if they're not interested in your property, I get a buyer to help find another home. You're going to get a pretty good response rate on that. And you get the ability to do the same thing here. Once we take this for sale by owner, you're going to get that same button popping up with this tool. Should pop up here under this one. We can add this person to our CRM and run that ad to get their house into Zillow. See how that's not pulling up here. So this is another great way to get homes that you can advertise on Facebook for free. Come right into Zillow, find your for sale by owners in your market, and send those people text messages. They will be responsive to the concept of free advertising for their property in exchange for letting you run Facebook ads.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And
the
you
other,
said that
Let's see.
extension's available.
Yeah, I'm going to send an email to Tom. He'll share with everybody who's on this call. I'd appreciate if you don't share it beyond that because it's going to end up being something we're selling. But again, as a opportunity for you guys for showing up today, we're going to make that Chrome extension available for you on the back end.
Thank you.
Yep. The other one, looking at your market, Steven, with the low availability, those hot list ads would do really well for you. I would really focus on those. Because you've got a pretty tight market. Although you still have a good number of homes for sale. But I would, pick a little target with inside of Gilroy, certain price point. Let me see here.
So the Chrome extension you're referring to, because like when I'm looking in Zillow right now in Appleton, Oshkosh, Green Bay, I didn't see any for sale by owners for sale. So is it because of a Chrome extension you're using, you're finding them?
No. To be clear, the Chrome extension, what the Chrome extension does is pull the data out of Zillow and puts it into Facebook for you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Was the market you're in, Tom?
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton, Wisconsin. Let's see. Let me screen share with you guys so we can see. So for those of you who have never, I typed in Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm just going to remove the boundary here so we can look a little bit larger. If you come here under the more category, you've got your agent listed here. We're going to remove those and you can get the second category, owner posted. Now you may not have any in your market. It's entirely possible. We can zoom out a little bit more. No, looks like you don't have any in your market, Tom.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I mistyped something or not.
See how far out we have to go to get one. Pretty far out here.
It's a foreclosure, it looks like. So
interesting. Yeah, most markets are going to have them. Here you go. You got one way up here. Oh, it's over the border.
So I wonder if
Uh,
it's a Wisconsin thing, maybe.
Might be a Wisconsin thing, maybe. Oh, well, yep. Now we're down in Illinois, plenty. So maybe it's
I
a
thought that Wisconsin wasn't doing for sale by owners for Zillow anymore because I've had a lot of people talk about listing with me actually because they don't get any exposure anymore.
could be something they did there. I would tell you, there's always people. I'm a silver lining person. I'm gonna stop the screen share for a second. I'm a silver lining person. Wherever there's rules in place that prevent things, there is huge opportunity, right? So to me, as I was looking at this, I was thinking the same thing. Clearly, Zillow and Wisconsin are not on speaking terms, and they're not advertising, which means for sale by owners are still happening, but not there. So I'd want to go figure out where they are, because here's what I know for sure: if they're not on Zillow, they're getting no exposure, right? There's a huge opportunity to go find those. So I'm not sure who spoke up, but whoever else is in Wisconsin, where are people advertising for sale by owners? Craigslist, newspaper.
I think there's a for sale by owner.com, but I really haven't found much in Wisconsin.
Interesting.
Maybe in Facebook Marketplace is a place as well.
Maybe I would be looking around. There's somewhere. There's always people in every market trying. So I'd be trying to figure out where those people are, because what we know for sure is they're not getting any exposure. They need your help. And so I'd be reaching out to them. Actually, it's very interesting as I've zoomed out here. It's definitely a Wisconsin thing.
Yeah, for the new agents on the call, you've got to be careful because in our states, you can't actively market a property unless you have an agency agreement. So I don't want anyone advised wrong here. In our state statutes, Zillow did sue us, and our state statutes prevented them from winning because of consumer protection. So
Interesting.
just so no one's misadvised.
Yeah, sure. Then I would tell you to go for, if you have specific things there in Wisconsin like that, I would tell you go for the hot list advertisements, right? They're essentially you're advertising not a specific property, certainly don't violate any of your rules, but you would be advertising a essentially a saved search, right? A list of properties that are available for you. Yes, that might be a better, I appreciate that, Mike. That might be a better strategy to implement in Wisconsin, given those rules. It's interesting. Learn something new every day.
Would the rental one be okay, Mike?
There's always, to Dan's point, there's always a workaround. But again, unless you have an active agency agreement, whether it's a seller in this case with the ideas we're discussing versus a buyer agency, I think it's going to come under the same sort of set of guidelines. But that one might have a little bit more sort of wiggle room. But so if you can find the legal loop to work around it, it would be a very effective campaign for agents. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Always with this stuff, to Mike's point, definitely check in with your broker, make sure you're following all the rules, but also here's the thing I always advise people, and I love our brokers. The broker's job is to make sure you stay out of real estate jail. And we value that input, and we want to have that input. Also, we want to look for what are the ways we can follow the rules and reach out to people, follow the rules and help, follow the rules and get exposure that can generate leads. So definitely look out for that. But I would definitely run the hot list ad then in Wisconsin. So if you're in Wisconsin, focus on the hot list ads. That's going to give you what I would think is a clear path, because you're not advertising a specific property. You're advertising essentially a safe, cultivated search of properties. And it's going to start some conversations there. And also lean into your office. Said, you'd be surprised how many of the top producers in your office who have a lot of listings will let you borrow their photos and run advertisements. It's more exposure for them, even if you have to work out deals. I know in some tougher markets, I coach some agents in Connecticut, New York. Those listing agents will say, yeah, you can use my photos, but if you bring me a buyer, like I want a 20% referral fee. But take those deals and be able to advertise the listings, because there's a huge opportunity to generate buyer leads on Facebook Marketplace. So if I had one strategy and I need to get more business in place, that's the one I would do for sure. Tom, how much time do we have? What time is this? I got 10 minutes. All right, perfect. I don't have nearly as much time as I'd like to do for this. But here's what I want to do. I want to take, in 10 minutes, I'm going to take you through a huge exercise. All right. Everybody who's been asleep, give me 10 more minutes of focus. I promise after this, you get to go to the bathroom well, let me do this. Hold on. We'll just provide the details on this as a follow-up. Everybody wants more leads. Here's the thing I always got to get you to think about. Leads are just contacts. Contacts are just people. You probably already know a lot of people. The reason we all want to buy leads or do something else is we have some expectation of intent, meaning the people I know is what I always hear from agents. The people I know, the people in my phone, they don't want to buy a house, but the Zillow leads are ready, right? Here's the thing. This is a really cool statistic people don't know. 2016 was actually the last year Zillow reported the number of leads they sold. 16.9 million leads were sold by Zillow in the year 2016, which is phenomenal. You would think if you were in the business of selling leads to real estate agents and you had generated 16.9 million in 2016, you'd keep reporting that information, right? Show real estate agents how valuable Zillow's leads are. So why did they stop reporting that information? Well, they had one problem. That same year that they sold 16.9 million leads, there were only 5.4 million houses sold in the United States of America. So if every single home sold came through a Zillow lead, it would still be only a 32% conversion rate on Zillow leads. And of course, we know that it's not even close that all the homes sold came from Zillow leads. The number one way people select their real estate agent is through their sphere of influence. So Zillow smartly stopped reporting how many leads they're generating. My gut instinct is if we got this data now, they're generating significantly more leads and have an even lower conversion rate than they ever have. Remember, they're in the business of selling you leads, not you closing houses. So my question for you is, if you know that Zillow leads are at best a 32% conversion rate, probably closer to 3%, are the people you already know worth more or less than a Zillow lead? Here's the exercise I ask you to do. And you can just take the notes since we don't have a lot of time, and you could do this exercise on your own. Open the contact app on your phone. Scroll all, if you have an iPhone, you scroll all the way to the bottom. If you have an Android, the number's right at top. There's going to be a number for the total number of contacts you have. Write that number down. Then I want you to multiply that out by 4%. So if you have 1,000 contacts in your phone, you got 40. That's the number of transactions you can get out of the people who are in your phone. Either they're going to do business or they know someone that they could refer to you. You got 1,000 contacts in your phone, you can get 40 deals if you never talk to another person that wasn't in that phone. Your phone and the people who are in it is the most valuable thing you have in your business. However, most people don't stay in contact frequently enough to get those results out of their database, right? And so what I have you do is do two things. One, write down that 4% number, so total contacts times 4%, how many deals, multiply it by your average commission, right? That's how much money, how much revenue could come out of your database, your sphere of influence on an annual basis if you marketed to it properly. Average cost of a Zillow lead, right, is $100. So now do this math. Take the total number of contacts in your phone. Average cost of a Zillow lead nationally is $100. If you're in California, where Steven was in Gilroy, I bet it's way more than $100. If you're here in South Florida, it averages out to be about $900. So, but nationally it's 100. Take the total number of contacts, multiply $100. That's how much you would have to pay Zillow to give you all those people's contact information back, right? So my question to you always is, if you had written that check, right? Again, you got 1,000 leads in there, right? Times $100. You would have spent, my mental math is a little fried right now, $100,000, right? If you spend $100,000, Tom, to buy the contacts that are in your phone, would you follow up with them?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Probably more than once a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Right? We don't put that kind of value on our database because we didn't have to write the check. You accumulated these people over the course of your life. Here's the thing I want to share with you. This is some Keller Williams data. They do a great job summarizing their data from the National Association of Realtors every year. National Association of Realtors asks sellers, how did you find your agent? 39% said that agent was referred by or is a friend, neighbor, or relative. Sphere of influence. They're in your phone. The next category, 26%, agent was a past client. Right? So if you put those together, 65% of sellers selected their agent from database marketing, sphere of influence, right? Skip over this one. So if we have that, why are you not, I'm going to get you guys all this. Why are you not getting the results? You don't stay in contact with your sphere of influence frequently enough. Here's what I'm going to offer you guys. This is a 72 touch marketing plan. It's composed of a weekly email, quarterly calls and texts, 2 video text messages a year, and 2 pieces of mail. I teach real estate agents how to execute this 72 touch marketing plan to their database in less than 2 hours a week, right? So if you have 2 hours a week and at least 400 or 500 contacts in your phone, we can help you make a lot more money from the people you already know by implementing this plan. I'm going to do 2 things for you since I'm out of time. One is I'm going to give you a link to be able to download for free that presentation I just went through. I'm going to pull that up right now.
In the meantime, I put a link in the chat. If you could fill out the information so we get you that Chrome extension as well. There's another tool to download all your contacts off of your phone, and I'll share that with you as well. So then you can put them in your CRM or create a CSV to reach out to them so we can get you guys going here.
Yep, absolutely. So here's what I'm going to give you. We're gonna take that to the next level, Tom, for your people. I just put a link in the chat. You can go in there and get that presentation I was just going through. All right, that's step number 1. It's going to walk you through the whole game plan and give you an overview of how to execute this level of marketing plan. But I want to make it even easier for you. So we got a couple things here. Hold on. One thing I put out to agents who are in my coaching program is, let me open this. Screen share here. This is our Q4 game plan. Every week, we provide agents in our coaching program a list of who they should call from their database, along with scripts that they can text or use for calls. Every week, we give them a pre-written email that you can use as a template. And every week, we create social media content for them. So we give you a walkthrough on how to create a post, what caption to use, how to make it. We give you interesting graphics you can use for your market to create engagement on your social media and your Instagram. We give you Reels templates. We've got all this programmed out for the rest of the year. I want to give you guys access to that as well because you're part of Tom's group. And we're also going to help anybody who's interested in executing that database game plan get it set up. So I have a virtual assistant who I've trained on every CRM, at least that I've encountered so far. So no matter what brokerage you're with, if you use Follow Up Boss, if you use KV Core, if you use Lion Desk, I'm trying to think of all the ones we use, Keller Williams Command, Compass is software, whichever CRM you use, she's probably encountered it. We will help you get the contacts off your phone, load them into your CRM, and tag them using the system that we teach our agents. Well, I'm willing to plug all that in as a gift for you guys coming out here today and being in Tom's inner circle at no charge. So I charge people who are in my group coaching $497 a month, and that service is included for them. For you guys showing up today, and as a gift to you and Tom, you can reach out to me directly, and we will get all that set up for you. I'm giving you access to my VA at no cost, no commitment, no nothing. Just as a thank you for showing up today, for supporting Tom, being part of his group. I want to give you guys a taste of getting this set up and getting into action, because I think that now is the best time of year to get going on leveraging your database, generating more leads and getting more business done.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And then we'll get that to them after they fill out the questionnaire. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you have anybody who's interested in it, they can fill out your questionnaire, and then Tom, you can connect them with me, or they can reach out to me directly. You can
Sure.
find me on Instagram at Dan DeMott. That's probably one of the best ways to connect. But if you shoot me a message and say, "Hey, I was on Tom's meeting. Can you help me get set up?" We will get you looped in with our VA, and she will take care of you.
Is that the preferred way for them to reach out to is through IG?
Instagram's one of the best ways. I'll drop in the chat box also. My email is dan@dandemott.com. And so one of those two on IG at Dan DeMott or on Facebook, either of those are going to be the best ways because my virtual assistant also checks all those messages. And so she knows what we're doing today and she'll be able to jump in and get you guys going.
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me today.